Perfection doesn't exist, and if it does, it's probably not even sustainable. There's just too many things out of your control that are gonna stop the perfect vision you have for something you're trying to do, whether that's make a video or grow a business. A lot of people need to realize is that it's a bit dangerous to get too hooked or attached on some of these ideas or visions that you've had for content you're trying to make or things you're trying to do. Because I guarantee you now, if you're waiting for the perfect idea to be within reach for you to act out on, you might end up waiting forever, essentially. Okay guys, welcome back to another episode of Emotivation. Gonna be another video with me trying to help you guys on your own content creation journey, or help you guys, get over the typical problems you might encounter if you're trying to grow like a business or creative business, anything like that. Yeah, it's gonna be me doing my best to give you guys the advice I feel like you might need to make this journey easier for you. If you like this kind of stuff, make sure to give this video a like, make sure to comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Make sure to let me know other topics you might want me to talk about and discuss. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe if you're feeling this kind of content and you want to see more. Moving on, today's video is going to be about perfectionism and how I feel like perfectionism might be holding you back. This is actually perfect time for me to make this kind of video because recently, like in the last video, I talked about how I was feeling burnt out, and I think one of the things that I've contributed to that is the fact that I just feel like sometimes, I don't know if you guys can relate, there's just points where I just feel like all the stuff I'm trying to do, like it's just not good enough. It's not amazing. It's not as good as I want it to be. And sometimes when those thoughts are crowding your mind, it just kind of makes you feel like, what's the point? I don't want to do this anymore. It can really take away your motivation to keep going down this path. And as I deep that, it made me realize, no, this is something else that I need to talk on, because I know other people are definitely going through these kind of things as well. And yeah, let's just get right into it. I feel like the issue with perfectionism, or if you're a perfectionist or someone who feels like before you do something it has to be perfect, or if you put something out it has to be literally flawless, it's just not realistic. Perfection doesn't exist, and if it does, is probably not even sustainable. What I mean by that is, like, people, before they want to start something, they always have this idea in their mind of what that thing is, and it's easy for you to come up with the perfect idea of how something should be in your mind. When it comes to making these videos, for example, when I plan them, I have this perfect vision of how I want the video to go, and it just never goes like that. Literally, just too many things out of your control that are gonna stop the perfect vision you have for something you're trying to do, whether that's make a video or grow a business or whatever you're trying to do. There's always going to be this perfect vision that you have in mind. It's very unlikely that that thing is going to end up being what you envisioned initially, but that's okay. And you can't dwell on that too much. In fact, I think a lot of people need to realize is that it's a bit dangerous to get too hooked or attached on some of these ideas or visions that you've had for content you're trying to make or things you're trying to do. Because I guarantee you now, if you're waiting for the perfect idea to be within reach for you to act out on, you might end up waiting forever, essentially. Even if you do manage to start, you're probably going to struggle to be properly consistent with it, because even if you have what might have been for you the perfect video or the perfect audition or the perfect performance, even if you had that at some point, you can't guarantee that that's going to happen all the time. It's just not possible. You're not a robot. Like, you're just a person, and people can't be perfect all the time. I know this sounds obvious, but I think a lot of people don't realize that they haven't started pursuing that dream of theirs or that goal that they've always had for their life. I can definitely say a lot of people haven't started acting out on it because they feel like they need to get to a point where they can do that perfectly again and again and again before they do it. And maybe you did even try. Maybe you sat at some point in your room and filmed a video or something, and you looked back on it, and all you saw was all the flaws and all the mistakes and how far from the perfect vision that you had for it. All you saw was how far off the thing you actually made was from that initial idea, and you probably decided not to post it. In fact, I know a lot of people that have tried start maybe like, you know, some kind of photography thing, or maybe tried to start being an influencer, and maybe they actually went out there and took some pictures and they look back at those pictures and they're like, nah, it's not good enough. Or maybe they did start making some videos and they looked at the content they actually made and they were like, nah, it's not good enough. And as a result, they decided not to post the thing that they made, and now they're still at a point probably thinking like, oh, imagine if I started this thing, what would have happened if I actually did that? And this is why I want to talk about how perfection is holding you back, because if you let go of needing to be perfect every time before you put something out there, obviously for my viewers, it's most likely going to have something to do with being a creative or content creation. Before you put out your work, if you focus too much on it needing to be perfect, you're going to hold yourself back way more than you need to. And another thing is like, if you have done this before, if you have held yourself back because you looked at something you made and you thought like it's not good enough, it's not perfect, and as a result you haven't started that thing that you've always wanted to start, first of all, that's normal. That's okay if you've done that. It's not too late. The best time to start is always going to be now. Do you know what I mean? You can always just start that thing right now. Like, I'm not even trying to get onto people that have done that, because I know I've done that myself as well. All this YouTube stuff that I'm trying to do, I've wanted to do this for years. If I'm being honest, I've wanted to do this kind of stuff since I was probably like 13, 14, 15, I don't know. I know I've wanted to do this stuff since I was in secondary school. I've only really started making this kind of content now that I've graduated and I've started working. I'm 22, I'm about to turn 23, and it's only now that I've started. And that's fine. Like, I know one of the things that was holding me back a lot was this idea of like, no, I have to come up with the perfect idea before I start putting content out. And I wasted a lot of years, and I do kind of regret that. Like, I do look back and sometimes think about, imagine how much further I could have been towards my dreams becoming reality, how much more progress I could have made if I just started sooner and stopped holding myself back because of worrying too much about whether the things I make or put out is perfect or not. And that's why I'm making this video, because if that's you, if you're someone right now who has all these ideas, all these ambitions, and one of the things holding you back is the fact that you feel like you're not ready, or the ideas you have aren't perfected or aren't good enough, I'm trying to let you know now, like, you need to just start that thing. You need to just start now. I'm not saying don't come with any sort of plan or idea. I'm saying don't wait until you feel like you've got the perfect idea before you start. More time, that feeling's never gonna come. You're never gonna feel like completely perfect. I'm trying to tell you, like, it doesn't exist. Even what you don't realize is when you actually start, there's gonna be so many things that you didn't even think about, that you didn't even factor in your plans, in your ideas, that you couldn't have, that you can only think of these things once you started taking action. These things are gonna get in the way of all the things you're trying to do. And you're not going to realize that until you actually start. So you're wasting time trying to wait until the perfect, flawless idea has come into your head before you start. It's just a waste of time. Another thing I want to put out there is, instead of aiming for perfection, I think is way better to just aiming to do your best is something that's way more sustainable. And it still sets the bar really high. You know, perfection, the way I see it is like, perfection is you're trying to have a 10 out of 10 piece of content all the time. Or, you know, if you're a singer, you're trying to have a 10 out of 10 performance all the time. Or if you're trying to grow a business, you're literally trying to have like a 10 out of 10 success rate every day you're working on your business. That's just not going to happen. But if you're aiming to do your best, you're acknowledging that every day is not going to be a great day with whatever it is that you're trying to do. Every day is literally not going to be a 10 out of 10 day. Sometimes you might have a day that you rate an 8, or you might rate it a 5, or you might rate it a 6. But when you reframe your mind to approach things in a way like, I'm just going to do my best rather than aim for perfection, you can view that 8 as an 8 out of an 8 versus a 10 out of 10. So the quality wasn't as perfect as it can be, but it was still the best you could have given in that moment. And that's all you can ask of yourself. It's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes are important because you learn from them, and that's how you get better and better and better. I feel like the final thing that I want to say with this topic is, and this is especially important for other people interested in trying to pursue like content creation or something similar to what I'm doing. No one even likes someone who's perfect. Perfection isn't relatable. Do you know what I mean? Especially when it comes to content creation, people don't mind someone with like an underdog story or someone who's failed a couple of times, because that's relatable, because we've all experienced that. We've all tried to do things and made mistakes. We've all struggled to make good quality stuff. We've all had moments of imperfection. And if you're trying to be a content creator, it's important to not be afraid to reveal that side of yourself. That realistically is what's gonna draw more people towards you, because it's authentic, it's real. And one thing I've noticed with the recent content I've been putting out is people resonate with that more. And it makes sense, because more or less we're all going through the same things. We all struggle with being perfect sometimes, and that's why it's okay to not literally be flawless at everything you do. It's just part of being human. It's part of life. And I feel like it's so important for you to show that in whatever creative thing you're pursuing, to show that side of yourself, to reveal that imperfect aspect of your life, because that can give other people strength. A lot of the times with social media, people only show the perfect sides of their life. People don't want to show you the bad times. People don't want to show you the struggle. People don't want to show you the things that they're not so good at. I feel like we've got to a point where we've had social media and the internet for so long, all of us are sick and tired of that, because we know that's not true. We know that because in our own lives, that's not true. We know we deal with imperfection all the time, and we see it in our friends and family as well. And that's why when you come across people, you know, making content that's authentic and shows the real harsh truths, that shows the sides of your life that aren't so perfect, that aren't so great, people like that, because it gives them hope and it helps them feel like they're not alone in this journey. A big reason why I'm making a video like this as well, and probably why I'm going to make more and more videos along this same kind of vibe, because I want to show people that not everything is what it seems on the internet. Like, most of us aren't perfect. In fact, none of us are, and that's fine. And it's like, we all struggle, and that's okay. As long as you do your best, as long as you give your dreams and your goals your all, and you keep trying, like, you can still do really well. You can still do way better than you ever imagined. And that's all you need to do. I'm going to end this video here. I hope all of that made sense. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like. Make sure to comment your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know if you can relate to these kind of things I discussed. And please share any other bits of advice or stories that you want to tell that kind of you feel like might help someone else going through these same kind of things. Yeah, other than that, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And yeah, thanks for listening in a bit.